Hey, so before the video starts, I thought I would just warn you that this video is going to be a little bit different than my past uploads. It's going to be a little bit longer because I am actually opening up a new set of materials and I am swatching them and I am experimenting with them. So if you are just looking to see more of a time-lapse or speed paint sort of video, you can skip to around the 17-minute mark and that will get you to where you need to be. But if you want to get a more in-depth look at my process and look at these specific materials, then I would recommend you watch all the way through, and I would appreciate it if you did. So alright, let's get on with it. Alrighty, so hello there, you lovely people of the internet. My name is Ollie, or the Sierra Mystify, as I have apparently decided to call myself, and today I am doing something a little bit differently than I have in my previous videos, and so I think I will be doing most of the video in real time. I might speed things up, or I don't know, I'm not exactly sure how I'm trying to do it, but I'm also trying to come up with a format that is really easy for me to handle with my current setup, because my laptop isn't the best, and also I can only record with my phone, which Premiere Pro really does not like my phone very much, so I'm dealing with a lot of issues and I'm quite inexperienced, so I'm just trying things out. Today what I'm doing is I actually got these pack of gel pens for Christmas, and I haven't gotten into them yet, and the reason for that is I've kind of been thinking about making this video for a while. My idea is to make a drawing based specifically off these colors. Like, these are all of the colors that I'm going to be using. Other than sketching, this is the only material that I am going to use, is just gel pens. These colors specifically remind me of kind of like a vaporwave, like neon signs and that sort of aesthetic. And I actually did for school another project that was kind of vaporwave inspired, and I'll probably show that when I edit it. So I might do something similar, something that just kind of gives that vibe a little bit, kind of then, you know, of course mixed in with what I like to do. So I'll probably draw like some cute girl doing something, I don't know, we'll see, but I just want to start experimenting and just see what I end up coming up with. So let's open these bad boys, if I can. I love that, it's my favorite. And also I'm like listening to vaporwave music during this too, to really get me in the mood and all that good stuff. Yeah, let's get into it. So we have all the pretty colors here. And I'll probably start off by doing some swatches and whatnot. They do claim right here, you know, the whole writes on dark paper, so I'm definitely going to try on dark paper. That seems pretty exciting. Don't usually get that kind of thing from markers and whatnot. That's kind of what we're dealing with, I'm thinking. Let's get started. So I'm just gonna start doing stuff. I'm gonna want to see how it looks when I'm just writing, just doing my normal thing, you know, do some loops. And then I also want to see how easy it is for these to fill in large area. Now these are brand new, so they're pretty smooth, which is pretty nice. So I should be able to get some larger areas, and then also see what happens with shading. It's, you know, obviously it doesn't matter how much pressure you put on it, it's just going to come out pretty consistent. So I usually tend to go into a sort of like hatching, or however your fancy term, whatever you call that. So yeah, okay, pretty nice. I very rarely get to use new gel pens. Usually they just appear from some void somewhere, and I've had them for years and years since I was a child, and that's what I get, and I never get any new ones usually. So that's pretty cool to have such fresh, nice, smooth ones. That one's hard to see. That one's really hard to see on here. That's not good. I mean, maybe it'll be good on the black paper though, which I would love to use black paper for this, so. There's that. Gotta love yellow. I'm not a huge fan of yellow myself, but I mean, in certain contexts it can be nice, especially if it's pastel, because bright yellow, oh, I'm sorry if I offended you, but yeah, bright yellow is not really my cup of tea. Looks cute on you though. I'm fine, I'm just talking to my stuffed duck, it's no problem. And this teal is exciting. That's like my favorite color for like vaporwavy, retro kinds of things is pink and teal. That's always my go-to. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. I thought I wasn't going to, but I have pretty much like a solid rainbow of colors here. I thought it was going to be more of a, I don't know, like I thought it was going to be kind of funky neon colors, but that's interesting. I think I definitely want to go for more of a limited color palette when I do my final one, just because that's just what I like, and also I think that works well for this sort of aesthetic. So I mean, this is basically I'll show another picture of something that I did, and I love that color palette so much, and that's really what I'm feeling drawn to right now, is like, yeah, it's like, oh, let me look at it, it's behind me. It's, yeah, it's basically this one, this one-ish, and that one, I'd say. Which I really like those together, but I'm really wanting a bright pink this time around, so yeah. I am going to move on to the black, or at least the darker paper. I wouldn't really call it black, it's quite faded, but I'm gonna move on to that now and see how that goes. Okay. Ooh. Wow, it does. That's fun. Yeah, it doesn't look like I'm really able to get a very solid color, though this what I would be doing the final version on is a slightly different material. I don't know if this is absorbing more or not. But I guess it's actually layering fairly well though. I didn't really think that gel pens were able to layer like that, but that's cool. Okay, there we go. Hi, yellow. How's it going? Yeah, this darker blue is, I mean, it's a little bit harder to make out. This one actually can be pushed farther into the background, so it might be nice to create some subtlety, whereas I don't think I could really be subtle with any of these colors on the white paper, so that's good to know. This will just be the back of this paper. I just really want to see if this shows up on here. Oh, okay, so this, yeah, this totally shows up on here way better. Okay, yeah, so there's my colors, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I do want to use this black. I think that'll be super fun. I'm just gonna do a few more experiments to just see what kind of effects I can get with these, because I think that's really where these are gonna, they're really gonna add to my drawing a lot, let's just put it that way. Well, what I am noticing right now is, well, what I was trying to do was I was trying to layer colors one on top of each other and try and get that neon effect by having things look like they're glowing, but either I'm not letting them dry long enough, or there's a certain point where they just don't want to layer anymore. So I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna try and see if I can create an effect without so many layers, and I'll see how that goes. But yeah, I decided to add in a white gel pen. I feel like these are kind of finicky, so I will just have to probably switch back and forth between these two. Sometimes they just don't want to write very smoothly for whatever reason, but nonetheless, I think that's kind of just necessary if I'm going to try and create like neon effects and whatnot, so let's see how that goes. Well, that was fun. So basically, I decided that, oh wow, it's getting all over me still. Okay, so I had decided that it would be maybe a better alternative to do what I had done in one of my, oh my god, why is it getting, what is going on? Okay, this stuff is getting everywhere. But no, in one of my classes, we used this kind of, instead of a white gel pen, and it worked really nicely, but, it basically, it's all, like, separated, it's getting all over the place, and it dripped all over me, because it was all liquidy in there, and I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Oh shoot, is it still recording? Oh my god, it is. Oh jeez. Alright, well, okay, that's cool. So, now that I have managed to get this gouache everywhere, and my phone is now charging, and my cat is no longer hogging my seat, I think I can continue now. I guess also since these probably have had a better time to dry, let me just try this again. Yeah, it's still not great. Yeah, I think that's not really great. So, yeah, let's try this now. So, I don't know why this stuff is so separated. It was separated when I first got it, but now it's so liquidy that it's actually just, it's not, it's dripping beyond the cap. I have it closed and it's still leaking, so I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. Okay, yeah, so that definitely is working more effectively than the white gel pens. I don't know why. I mean, it's not that my white gel pens are running out of ink or anything, but they just seem to have dried up a bit, so I would normally use them, but since they're just not really doing it, this will have to be my substitute. Otherwise, I would just do the whole thing in gel pens, but yeah. Fortunately, that's not how it's going to be. Okay, so I feel like I have a little bit of an idea of how to make that work. Definitely things are not always super consistent, it seems. It seems like there are certain areas where it pens just don't want to go down, and there's nothing you can do about it. So that'll definitely be interesting to work through, but I think I'm finally ready to actually start thinking about the final project here, so I'm probably going to start doing some thumbnails and see where I go from there. So from this point on, I kind of became less talkative because I got really more focused on the project, so I'll do a little bit of a voiceover here, and then I'll just let the time-lapse play out from there. So at this point I had decided that I wanted to take the whole neon lights idea pretty literally with this, and so I originally started out with the idea that there's just a girl sitting there with a bunch of neon lights in the background, and this is like I thought this was cool, but it compositionally wasn't very interesting, and then also I knew it would be a bit much to try and fill in with these gel pens, so I then went a little bit of a smaller scale type thing, zoomed in a little bit. I realized it was maybe a little too zoomed in, so I zoomed back out a little bit. But yeah, so I didn't do too many thumbnails here because I didn't want it to be too long of a process, but I just kind of stuck with, you know, what you'll see here as the girl with the glasses, and there are reflections of all these neon lights in her glasses, which was kind of an interesting challenge to make that look correct, to have a kind of layering of her eyes and the reflections, but I think it came out pretty cool, and I think that I managed to get the feeling that I wanted to go for here with, you know, the night scene and all that. I thought you might be interested to know that as I am trying to record this and listen back to my recordings, Rue decided that it was a good idea to jump up and rip my headphones out of my ears. So, you know, love that. So I thought I'd just come in to talk about how I chose what colors to use where for this specific piece. And as I had said before, I kind of like the idea of using a mostly limited color palette for this style of piece. And, you know, that kind of conflicts with what I've done thus far with pretty much every single color being used for the neon light reflections. But I had decided that for the rest of the drawing, aside from the glasses, I would limit it to only mainly those three colors, the pink, the purple, and the teal. When I am making art for myself and just for fun, I like to kind of go by the happy accidents philosophy and just kind of adapt and go with any things that I end up with on my paper. And I just kind of like to make decisions spontaneously. So sometimes looking back on things, I kind of wonder if I had made the correct choice or if I would have liked the piece better if I had made a different decision. And I was kind of at a bit of a crossroads with this one. I was wondering if I should add kind of a underlit look to her face because the bright pink at the bottom of her hair almost made it look like there was a pink light coming from underneath. So I thought I might ask you, do you think that I should have, or maybe should in the future, add some pink lighting effects to the bottom of her face and that sort of deal? Or do you think I was correct in leaving it as is? Yeah, if you want to let me know in the comments what you think on that, that would be super cool. So there we have it. What do you think? I'd love to hear any feedback and questions that you have in the comments. I'd also really appreciate it if you really like this video, if you could give it a like, and if you like my content in general, if you would subscribe so that you can continue seeing more from me and see all the crazy stuff that I end up doing. Thank you for going on this wild gel pen journey with me, and I will be seeing you when I see ya.